Okay, what's up? This is the moon in Taurus and the 11th house in Cam's astrology. And this is the kind of personality. I can't put my finger on, a decent example. It's just because it's so wide. Because you're dealing with now cancers in the first house, so we can be talking about all kind of personalities. What I mean, like, if there's a first 11th house combination connection is what I'm saying. But for this kind of energy, this person is all about friends. They're all about the finer things, right? They're all about their desires, their long-term goals, their wishes, their getting to people. When I say friends, like-minded people who have a similar interest. They're all about spend. That's where they find themselves. That's what their life is going to be oriented toward, directed toward. That's where they find personality. That's where be like, okay, this is who I am. This is the personality I have molded based off of this group of people that I share a similar interest with. And then they also, whatever the similar interests are, they form their personalities based off that. Their personality is molded. It's molded based off 11th house things. They're all about, and I say the finer things because this is a Kama house, Kama. It's another Vedic astrology term. It's desires. And your first house lord or ruler is going to the 10th house. So it's all about that. I mean, the 11th house. This is a house of liquid gains coming into your life. Like, this is you, and the 11th house, like, this is the money, is just like this. This is money just coming in. I say saving it. I'm not saying like, okay, this is a house where it shows how much you're worth. That's second house. Worth when it comes to how much money we're just talking about, just money. But so yeah, that's the kind of person, that kind of energy we're talking about here. These people learn very early, somehow, some way. They either they're just made this way, or they're surrounded by people, whatever, that instill this in them, that is going to take time. It's going to take hard work, because this is the home house of Saturn. So, and then you are going there. That's the first house lord. It's you. It represents you among some other planets, but on a body level, body inclination, your body, yourself, the self, the ego, like the part of us that says I exist. 11th house. It identifies with all of those things. So peace of mind comes when you are networking. You got to be networking somehow for this mind to be at peace. Like, these people have to, and what I mean by networking is like you might, for example, that similar interest person. Let's say you want to open a cake, like a bakery or something, and I don't know, somebody who does cakes, somebody who's really good at it. Networking would be you reaching out to that person and saying, hey, I heard you know how to do this. Well, I'm trying to do this. How can we kind of help each other out? That's networking. Networking is finding out sources, right? Finding out is using your sources, actually. It's the use of your sources. And Here's a beautiful thing I'm going to give you. Everything and everybody is a source of something. It's something that you can get, something that will help you grow, something you can learn, something you can network with everybody about in order to gain money. Everybody. And these people learn that very early. First house is just the first year of life. First year and 13th year. That's another story, but you learn it very early. Like your first year, when you first born, is just like the universe. It reacts to your birth, right? Like you're born. The first seconds you come out, and it's like, okay, this person has they're about 11th house things, so they immediately get hit with these things early. They find out it takes hard work, it takes commitment, all Saturn things, and I'm just saying. So they learn that early, and if they have to keep gaining in order to be at peace of mind, they have to keep networking. They have to keep. They have to continuously be, mentally or emotionally interacting with like-minded people who have similar interests, or they just really have to be connected to those things to be at peace, to which that suffers. And like this is the kind of person, like if they lose their friend move away, they're fucked up for a long time. Like their best friend or something like that, or somebody who they really network with, they really connect with when it comes to them having a personality, them personally identifying with somebody, and that person might move away or something like that early in life. That's going to tear them apart. It tears them apart. The peace of mind suffer. They need that. They need constant. They need friends. Like they need. You get my point. I don't want to beat a dead horse. The 11th house activities, like I said, the persona, the personality, not the expression of it like the 5th house. The persona is molded and expresses itself most when you are around those people. It expresses itself most when you are engaged in pursuing one of those long-term goals, long-term wishes, when you're on that path, right? We're on the path because long-term goals, it's the big shit, like our dreams, like the shit that takes time, it takes energy and effort. That's through them going on that path, that's how they find out who they are. That's how they build a personality. Like, this is who I am. On that path, things are going to happen. They're going to meet people. People are going to leave their lives that are going to shape who they are. And then the first house is also self-awareness. Self-awareness, right? I love that one. It comes out most when they're around these people. It's very important, self-awareness. When they're around people or doing things, when they're after their goals, right? Like they learn about themselves, like, this worked when I was trying to become an actor. Okay, this worked. Boom, boom, boom. That's where self-awareness comes in. When they go towards 11th house things. So go towards those things in order to become more self-aware. When you're more self-aware, you know thyself, man. Shakespeare, those two words, they're just the most underrated words together. You know yourself, you know how you move, you know what ticks you off, what doesn't, what keeps you going and what doesn't. And so, and then the aspects, the fifth house. Moon aspects the fifth house from the 11th house. And so self-expression is affected from displacement. Self-expression is affected. Like these people, if they gaining, if they're on their path, if they're pursuing their goals, if they're accomplishing their goals, it affects how they express themselves. It expresses their relationship with children. It affects the genius in us, right? If you feel like you're gaining, you feel like you're doing something right, with this placement, it affects your genius. The fifth house, I call it. It's the genius. It's our intelligence. That part of us that, like, when you're a kid, where like everything was fucking possible. That's the fifth house, and that gets affected. That gets switched on, right, or it gets turned off. I'm just saying, it gets affected. So and so the mother she's a perhaps was like an icon herself. She could have been an icon herself, or yeah, really an icon herself, or was really into, her goals. She was really into her dreams, and she's really about those things, like really. She's into money. She's into gains. That's where you get it from. And so this is another Tanya Yoga. This is a wealth combination, because you got the Lord of the first going to the 11th. It's excellent. I love it. Excellent placement. Your entire life is about accomplishing your goals. Setting goals. Long-term goals, the big ones, the wishes. Set those goals. Set those goals. Go down the path. And another thing is going to be it has to be an emotional connection to whatever you're doing, whatever you want to do in life. You find that, you're on the right path. Stay down that path. Your whole life, you will find yourself there. Peace.